So hello everyone. Today we are continuing with the study of maps of India. Okay, especially in the prelims perspective, this is very important. So yes, last class we have discussed these topics, that is important latitudes and longitude, places in news and about the Northeast. And we have other topics to discuss. So in today's session, we'll be discussing important mountain ranges, glaciers and passes. Okay. And in the coming sessions, we'll be discussing the rest of the topics. So these are the two topics we'll be discussing today. Okay. So let's start with important mountain ranges. Okay. So if you're talking about the mountain ranges of India, the first thing that comes to your mind would be the Himalayas. So that is very important. Next thing would be what? The Western Ghats. Okay. So apart from this, there are other hill ranges also which are very important, especially in prelims and mains perspective. So we are just going to have a brief idea about the Indian physiography, especially in the mountain terrain perspective. Okay. So we'll start with, yes, you can see here on top we have this. Here on this part, we have the Himalayas. Then we have the central highlands, Aravallis, Vindhya, Satpura, and Satmala. Then we have some few hills here. And then the northeastern hills are there. Then the Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. So these are the hills we'll be discussing today. Okay, so broadly I've classified into the Himalayas, the northeastern hills, mountains of central India, and hills of Chotanagpur, Plateau, and Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Okay, so we'll start with the Himalayas. Okay, so the Himalayas. So what do you know about the Himalayas? So we know like the mountain stretches of Himalayas. It's all the way from where, yes, northwest part of India, that is Kashmir, to northeast Arunachal Pradesh. The whole length it is there. Okay, all along this border, it is the Himalayas. And it has like borders with Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar. Okay, all the bordering areas is like, it is like a wall at the northeastern part of India. Okay, it stands as a tall wall on the northern India. Okay, so yes, if you're talking about the Himalayas, we must know about the ranges. So broadly, Himalayas are classified into three. That is Himadri, Himachal, and Shivalik. Okay, so the Himadri is the greater Himalayas. Himachal is also called the lesser Himalayas, and the Shivalik ranges. So these are the broad three classification of the Himalayas. Okay, and above this Himalayas, there is a Trans-Himalayan range. Okay, so Trans-Himalayan range are what? Consists of three mountains: Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar, and there's a continuation of Kailash range in the Nepal region. Okay, so broadly it is Karakoram, Ladakh, and Zanskar India which constitute the Trans-Himalayan ranges. Clear? So we have the Trans-Himalayas on the top. Then we have the Himalayan ranges of what? Himadri, Himachal, and Shivalik. Clear? Okay. So we'll start with, yes. So we'll have a clear, better understanding of this ranges, how it is distributed. So here you can see the Karakoram range. Then there is Ladakh range. And then comes the Zanskar range. Then the Great Himalayas. So you can see a big stretch, long stretch. The Great Himalayas start from here, Nang Parbat, and ends here at Namcha Barwa. So it's a one single continuous long stretch of mountains. Okay. Then we have what? The Himachal. Okay. So if you're talking about Himachal ranges, it is not continuous. It's actually broken. So you can see it here. It's like a dash line, right? So that these are the Himachal range. Then comes the Shivalik, which are of lesser of height. Okay. So if you're talking about Shivalik, it is the one near to the Gangetic plains and of lesser of height, but it is somewhat more continuous than the Himachal. Okay, so you have one stretch from here to here, and then another part here in the northeast. Okay, that is how Shivalik is there. So we'll see these in detail. Okay, so we'll start with the Trans-Himalayan ranges. So if we're talking about the Trans-Himalayan ranges, we spoke about what? Yes, three ranges: Karakoram, Ladakh, and Zanskar. There's one more range, that is the Kailash range. You can see it here in the Nepal region, which also is a part of what? The Trans-Himalayan ranges. Okay, so mainly it consists of Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar, and Kailash. Remember the order in which it is there. Karakoram is on the top, then comes Ladakh, and then comes Zanskar. Okay. So the northernmost part of the Trans-Himalaya is what? The Karakoram range. And on this is, you can see K2 here, right? the highest peak, Mount K2 or Godwin Austen. Okay. If you're talking about the highest peak in the world, this is the second highest peak after Mount Everest. It is K2. Okay. And in India's case, K2 is the highest peak because Mount Everest, where is Mount Everest? It is in Nepal. Okay. So if you're taking the case of India, K2 is the highest peak in India and K2 is the second highest peak in the world. Okay. And this is located where? In the Karakoram ranges. Okay. And another interesting thing you must remember is between Karakoram and Ladakh range, we have the Shiok River. Okay, remember this river, Shiok River. Okay, and the Nubra Valley. So Karakoram and Ladakh. Between these two, there is what? The Shiok River. And between Ladakh and Zaskar, we have who? The Indus River. Okay, so between Ladakh and you can see here, this one flowing. This is the Indus River between Zaskar and Ladakh and Zaskar. Okay, this one, a tributary of what Indus called the Shiok, it is between Karakoram and Ladakh. Okay, so yeah, I'll show you the picture. So you can see this one is what? The Shiok River, and here we have what? The Indus River. This is the Indus. Okay, clear? So between what? Ladakh and Zaskar, we have who? The Indus River, and between Karakoram and Ladakh, we have the Shiok River. Clear? So this is the basics about Trans-Himalayan range. So just remember the mountain ranges, that is Karakoram, Ladakh, Zaskar, and what the Kailash ranges, then also the rivers. And remember K2 is located here. Okay, let's move on. Apart from that, one more thing is the Nanga Parbat. You can see the Nanga Parbat here, right? Nanga Parbat is the place where the Himalayas or the Great Himalayas are starting. Okay, it is in the Zaskar range. Okay, Nanga Parbat. So it is actually a syntaxical bend, and it is there that from that point, what all the rivers like on one hand, we'll see it in the next slide of Great Himalayas. That is where the Great Himalayas start, and it ends where in Namcha Barwa. So we'll see that when we talk about what the Great Himalayas. Clear? Okay. So if you're talking about the Great Himalayas, yes, the Great Himalayas or the Inner Himalayas or the Himadri, these are the other names of what the Great Himalayas, also called Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. Okay. So if you're talking about this, yes, it lies immediately below who? The Trans-Himalayas, right? And the width, it varies between 120 and it's very broad, 120 to 190 kilometers. And yes, it is the most continuous range, and it is also very tall. Okay, that means it has all the snowbound glaciers in it. Okay, there's so many snowbound glaciers. And the highest peak, Mount Everest, is located on this, on this. The highest peak is located here on this, Himadri. Okay, great. Mount Everest is located here. Apart from that, the rivers such as Ganga and Yamuna is also originating from this Himadri ranges. Okay, so all the glaciers from which the Gangotri Glacier, okay, the Yamunotri Glacier, everything is where? On the Great Himalayas. Okay, then apart from that, the important passes, that is Nathula, Zojila, Shipkila, all these are where? On this Great Himalayas or Himadri. Okay, so yes, this is one thing I've told. It is terminates abruptly at the syntaxial bend. So it goes like this, and there are two syntaxial bends at both the ends. Okay, at the syntaxial bends, one side it is called Nanga Parbat that we saw when we saw the last slide, and then on the other side we have the Namcha Barwa. So from Nanga Parbat in northwest to Namcha Barwa in northeast, this whole length is what? The Great Himalayas. Okay, and at Namcha Barwa we have who? The Brahmaputra coming inside. Okay, it takes a bend and comes inside at Namcha Barwa. Okay, and Nanga Parvat, it is the Indus which takes a bend. Okay, so that is the Great Himalayas. So remember, it is just below the Trans-Himalayas. We have a continuous stretch of mountains. Okay, and it is very tall mountains. And yes, we have what? The Mount Everest is on this mountain ranges. Rivers such as Ganga and Yamuna originate from here. Then the important passes, Nathula, Zojila, Shipkila. So we'll see the passes later on. Okay, so remember these passes, Nathula, Zojila, and Shipkila is on this. Okay, Apart from that, you must also remember Nanga Parvat and Namcha Parvat. Yeah, so that is the Great Himalayas. So don't get confused with this name, because this Namcha Parvat was also asked in prelims last year. So remember the location. So I'll show you. I think it's there in this picture itself. So you can see Nanga Parvat here. When we see the the northeastern part, we also see the Namcha Parvat. I think we discussed about Namcha Parvat in the last session as well. Okay, so you can see it there. So that is what the Great Himalayas. Yeah. Next is the next range just below this what Great Himalayas is who? The yes. It is the the Lesser Himalayas or Himachal. Okay. So just below Himadri we have the Himachal. Okay. So if you're talking about Himachal, it is on the southern side of what the Great Himalayas. Yes, the average height is just about 50 kilometers. The earlier one was around 200, like 190 kilometers, etc. But this is only around 50 kilometers. Okay. And all the hill stations, this is a much more accessible one, accessible mountain. So all the hill stations such as what Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital, everything is on this ranges. Okay. And all the valleys, important valleys, Kashmir Valley, Kulu Valley, Kangra Valley, all these are located between this Greater Himalayas and Lesser Himalayas. Okay. So apart from that, I told you this is not a continuous range like the what Himadri. So you must know all the mountain ranges which constitute this Himachal Himalayas. Okay. So if you're talking about the mountain ranges which constitute the Himachal Himalayas, we can divide it into like our four. So we have the Panjal range on the top, like the topmost part in Jammu and Kashmir. South of Kashmir Valley, we have the Pir Panjal range. Then we have the Doladar range, which is the important range in Himachal Pradesh. And when we come to Uttarakhand, it is called either the Mussoorie range or the Nagtiba range. Okay, remember the name Nagtiba. Okay, Mussoorie, you know, it is all UPSC aspirants would know Mussoorie, obviously. So remember, Mussoorie range is part of what? The Himachal Himalayas or the Lesser Himalayas. Okay, then in Nepal, we have the Mahabharat ranges. Okay, so that is how it is distributed. So we have what Pir Panjal in Jammu and Kashmir, Doladar in Himachal Pradesh, Mussoorie or Nagtiba in where Uttarakhand, and Mahabharat in Nepal. Yeah. Yes. So you can see here. Yes. So this is. So you can see what. Yes. The Nanda Devi, Dolagiri, all these you can see here, right? See, all these are what this is Pir Panjal range. Then we have what we spoke about Doladar range. Then Nagtiba, this is Nagtiba and Mussoorie range and Nagtiba, and then the Mahabharat range when we come to Nepal. This is how it is distributed. Okay, so that is what the Lesser Himalayas. Okay, and if you're talking about Shivalik, it's much more less. So if you're talking about the formation of Himalayas, we know how it was formed, right? So it is actually young fold mountains. So it is due to like when the Indo-Indian plate, when then hit the Eurasian plate, the folds were created, right? So during the first stress, the Himadri, the highest ones were formed. Earlier, before that, the Trans-Himalayas was formed during a slight collision. Then Himadri was formed, and then next bend it was Himachal, and then later on, the youngest one was the Shivalik ranges. Okay, so after every collision, every push, this mountain ranges were formed. The folds were formed. Okay, so it's just like a paper bending. When you compress paper from two sides, it bends like this, right? Similarly, the mountains were formed. Okay, so the last and youngest one was the Shivalik ranges. And remember, even now the mountain ranges of Himalayas are rising because of the forces, compression forces. Okay. Yes, so this is the southernmost range of Himalayas. Then we have the Shivalik range. It's also called the Shivalik range or the outer Himalayas. Okay. So remember from where it runs. Okay, it runs from distance of 2000 from Potwar Plateau, that is above Delhi, somewhere in the north. There is Potwar Plateau up to the Brahmaputra Valley. Okay. So the average width is around 10 to 15 kilometers. It's very much lesser than the earlier ones, right? So, and also, yes, the height is only around 1,000 meters above sea level, okay, compared to the earlier ones. Then, an interesting fact in Shivalik mountains is the dunes and duars. So, dunes are actually longitudinal valleys between the lesser Himalayas and the Shivalik. So, there's longitude. So, we have the Dehradun, right? The dunes, okay? Fourthly, dune, etc. Then, duars. Duars are actually what? The deposits, the flood, alluvial deposits on the banks of the rivers, on these valleys, okay? So duars are actually what? Good for tea cultivation, tea plantations. Okay, this alluvial sand deposits. Okay, so that is dunes and duars. So that is one interesting fact about Shivalik mountain ranges. So remember Shivalik, yes, it is southernmost mountain ranges just below what the Himachal ranges. Okay, it's also called the outer Himalayas, and it starts from where the Potwar Plateau, somewhere above Delhi, like there. Okay, and up to Brahmaputra Valley. Then yes, important things there is the dunes and duars. So similar to what the middle Himalayas, we also have what division here. Okay, so there are different regions. So in Jammu region, it's called the Jammu Hills, and if you're talking about Arunachal Pradesh to the northeast, there are Dafla, Miri, Abor, and Mishmi Hills. Okay, so we'll see that when we look into the northeastern hills as well. So remember these ranges names: Dafla, Miri, Abor, and Mishmi. These are also tribals. There are so many tribals residing in Arunachal Pradesh whose name also are also the same. Okay. Then in Uttarakhand, it's called the Dang Range or Dudwa Range. Okay. And Nepal, it is called the Churiaghat Range or Churiaghat Hills. Okay. So just remember these Arunachal Pradesh names, that is Dafla, Miri, Abor, and Mishmi Hills. Okay. That is the northeastern part of Himalayas. Clear? So, yes, that is the Himalayas. So, remember the names of Himalayas we spoke about. Yes, Himalayas constitute into broadly three: the Himadri, Himachal, Shivalik. And above this Himadri, Himachal, Shivalik, we have the Trans-Himalayan ranges. Okay, so Trans-Himalaya constitute of Karakoram, Ladakh, and Zanskar. And also between Karakoram and Ladakh, we have the Shyok River. And Ladakh and Zanskar, we have the Indus River. Okay. Yes, and we have all the many important glaciers and what passes there. Okay. Then comes the Himadri. Himadri is a continuous stretch of mountains. It starts from Nanga Parvat and extends up to Namcha Barwa in the northeast. Okay. It is one continuous stretch of hills, and it is the tallest one. Okay. Below that, we have the Himachal mountains. If we're talking about Himachal mountains, we have what? Yes, a constituent of Pir range in Jammu and Kashmir. Then there is Dauladar range, right? Then there is Mussoorie and Nagtipa ranges and Mahabharat ranges in Nepal. Okay, so they are not actually continuous as the Himadri. They are actually bifurcated in between, dissected in between. Okay, then below that we have Shivalik, which is much more continuous than the Himachal, and Shivalik is the youngest Yangfall mountains. Okay, and it actually starts from Potwar Plateau and runs up to Brahmaputra Valley. Okay. So remember the names of all the hills which constitute the Shivalik as well. Okay. So that is the Himalayan ranges. Okay. So when we see the rivers, we'll be seeing this again, but just remember all these. And also when we'll see all the rivers which are originating from the Himalayas. Okay. So that we'll see exclusively when we study about the rivers. Okay. So next is yes, the northeastern hills or the Purvanchal. So now we saw all the western Himalayan side, right? And now we are going to see the eastern side, eastern hills. Okay. This is very important because for UPSC, it is a favorite area, Northeast Himalayas. Okay. So if you're talking about the Himalayas, I mean northeastern hills or the Purvanchal, it is also called the Purvanchal ranges. Okay. It is actually southward extension of the Himalayas. So it is like the Himalayas come like this up to the northeast and then come down. Okay. So it is actually the southward extension of the Himalayas. Okay. Along the northeastern edge of India. So it's actually between India and Myanmar border. Okay. So at the Dihang Gorge, so that we saw about the Dihang River, right? Dihang River, which is a tributary of the Brahmaputra. So when we spoke about the Brahmaputra in the last class, we saw Dihang River, northeast. Okay. So if we're talking about Dihang Gorge, that is a southern southward belt. Okay. and forms a series of what comparatively low hills. It is not high as Himalayas. That is one important fact about the Purvanchal. So it is not usually considered as a part of Himalayas, rather it is considered as a separate hill. Okay, so that is why it is called Purvanchal. Okay, and also there is a convexity to the west. Okay, Purvanchal. So we'll see the figure and you'll understand this more. And it runs along the India-Myanmar border from Arunachal Pradesh to the Mizoram, like all the states. We have Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram. So it falls across all these states. Okay. So yes, that is the Purvanchal. So we'll see a figure to get a detailed idea about the Purvanchal ranges. Okay. So yes. So you can see here. So this is the Namcha Barwa. So Nanga Parvat we saw when we spoke of the Western Himalayas. So Eastern Himalayas, there's Namcha Barwa. So here at the Namcha, we have what? The Dihang Gorge. This is the Dihang Gorge. Okay. So below this, so through this Dihang Gorge flows what? The Brahmaputra. So Brahmaputra comes like this as Sanko through this and takes a bend here at Namcha Barwa. Okay. And at Namcha Barwa, the Great Himalayas ends. Okay. Here it ends. Okay. Then, yes, this is the southward extension of what? The Himalayas. Okay, so we have the ranges, the Patkai Bum. Here we have Patkai Bum is actually in Arunachal Pradesh and somewhat to Nagaland as well. Up to here. Then we have the Naga Hills. Then here we have the Manipur Hills. So here there is Manipur Hills. And then Mizo or the Lushai Hills. Okay, so this part, this whole part is the Purvanchal. Okay, so we also have the Garo Khasi Jayantia Hills here, but this is actually part of what? The Peninsula Plateau. This is an extension of the Peninsula Plateau. So we'll study that later, but remember this. Okay, so this is the only part which constitute what? The Purvanchal. Clear? Okay, so you must also remember the states here. So this part is Arunachal Pradesh. Here we have what? Nagaland. Then we have Manipur, and then we have Mizoram. Okay, clear? Okay, so now we'll see. Yes, so in this it's much more clear. So we have the Mishmi Hills, Dafla Hills. So remember, I forgot to mention that as well. You can see this Dafla Hills and yes, Mishmi Hills here. I think it's which is part of what? The northeastern Himalayas. So we spoke about that when we spoke about what? Yes, Abor, Mishmi, Dafla Hills. When we spoke about the Shivalik ranges, right? So this is part of the northeastern Himalayas and this is the southern extension. Okay. So another interesting thing you must remember is these mountains are extending to Myanmar as Arakanyoma. It's called Arakanyoma in Myanmar. And then it is actually considered further extending towards where? The Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, so the Andaman Nicobar, you can see if you take the figure and see, this is actually it's like an arch. So this southwest, the westward arch we spoke, no, the convexity. So this northeastern hills are like this. Below that we have the Arakanyoma, right? And below Arakanyoma we have who? Yes, it actually enters the sea, and then there is small uprising where in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So that is the actually considered an extension by some scientists. Okay, so Purvanchal is comprised of the following hills, which are arranged from north to south. So we have Patkai Bum here. You can see the Patkai Bum here. This is here. Then we have who the Naga Hills is there. Then Manipur. So Naga Hills is here. So this, it's not given the name here. This is the Manipur Hills. Okay. Then we have the Mizo Hills. Okay. These four are part of what? The, yes, Purvanchal ranges. Okay. And another important river is the Barak River. So we spoke about Barak River in the last session when we spoke about Northeast. But Barak is an important river between Manipur and Mizoram. Okay. It originates. So you remember how it used to go? Like it originates from Manipur, goes like this and comes to Assam and then comes to where the Bangladesh region. Enters the Bangladesh. Okay, that is how Barak River is. Okay. Clear? Yes, so that is the Purvanchal range. So we'll see how it goes, like how it adjoins to how it is divided, etc. So if we're talking about this, yes. So Patkai Bum Hills, that is the topmost hills. Okay, they are actually made of strong sandstone. Okay. So below that comes what? The Naga Hills. So it emerges into Naga Hills where Saramati is the highest peak. The highest peak in Naga Hills is the Saramati. Okay. And Patkaipam and Naga Hills is a watershed between India and Myanmar. So what do you mean by watershed between India and Myanmar? That means it is like this. So the rivers, like all the rivers into India starts from here, where, yes, this side of what? Naga and Patkaikba. And on this side, we have all the rivers going to Myanmar. So it actually acts as a divide. So there's mountain like this, and two sides there's river flows. That is how it acts as a watershed. Okay. So yes. So both Patkaikbam and Naga Hills act as a watershed between rivers of what? India and Myanmar. Okay. And yes, it also blocks the rainfall. Okay. So this Arakan Yoma to what? The extension of this hills to Arakan Yoma and Myanmar, that actually acts as a barrier for what? The southwest monsoon. Okay. So when you learn about the climate, you'll be learning that. So one branch of the Bay of Bengal branch of the southwest monsoon comes and hits this Arakan Yoma and then moves ahead to the northeast. Okay, that is how this region has higher rainfall. Okay. So yes, so that is so this side of what? Patkaibam and Naga Hills, that is Indian side, has what? Higher water and rainfall compared to the other side. Okay. Then below this we have what? Below the south, Naga Hills to the south we have the Manipur Hills. Okay. Then you can also see one Barail ranges. Okay. It actually comes in between who? The Naga and Manipur Hills. Okay. There is one Barail range, which is also extension of what? The Peninsula Plateau. It comes in between the Naga Hills and the Manipur Hills, the Barail ranges. Okay. So then, yes, this extension of Barail, that is Garo Khasi Jayantia, is an westward extension of what? The Barail range. So all this Garo Khasi Jayantia, Barail and Mikil. This is actually an extension of who? The Peninsula Plateau. Okay. So here there is a Maldive fault. So that we'll learn when we are learning about Peninsula Plateau. And after Peninsula Plateau, there's a Maldive fault, and this is an extension of what? The Peninsula Plateau. Okay. So that is Garo Khasi Jayantia, Mikil Barail. So, and this Barail range come in between who? The Naga Hills and the Manipur Hills. Clear? No doubt, right? It's clear, right? Okay. It's very easy. On top there is Patkaibam. Then comes what? The Naga Hills. Then below Naga Hills, there is Manipur Hills, and horizontally there is one Barail ranges. Yeah. Okay. Then yes, below this what? Manipur ranges, we have the Mizo Hills. Okay. That is where Mizoram is, and it is also called earlier it was called the Lushai Hills. Now it's called Mizo Hills itself. But earlier it was Lushai Hills. And all these are named after the tribals. Okay, there are Naga tribals there. There are in Manipur, if you're talking about Manipur Hills, there are Kuki tribes and Methi tribes. Okay. So you learn about the tribals when you study other chapters. Okay. And Mizo Hills, there are Mizo tribes and the Lushai tribes. Okay. Clear? So that is the Purvanchal ranges. Okay. So just remember only this part. Okay. At the what? It is actually a southern extension of what? The Himalayas. Okay. So only that part is called what? The Purvanchal ranges. Clear? Okay. Now one more thing we must remember when we're studying this region is the Meghalaya Plateau. Okay. So if you're talking about the Meghalaya Plateau, so this part is the Meghalaya Plateau. I told you this Garo Khasi Jayantia, which is an extension of what? The Peninsula Plateau. That is the Meghalaya Plateau. So if we're talking about Meghalaya Plateau, 3 hills, Garo Khasi Jayantia. So first we'll see the Garo Hills. Okay. So Garo is the western, so it is like this, okay, Meghalaya Plateau. So westernmost part of the Meghalaya Plateau is the Garo Hills. Okay. So, and the tribes there is Garo tribes and an important biosphere reserve. Okay, this is a UNESCO biosphere reserve, which is North Creek. Okay. It is part of UNESCO Man and Biosphere Program, the North Creek Biosphere Reserve, and it is important for what? Elephant reserve as well. Elephants as well. Okay. And yes, Tura is an important city in Garo Hills. Tura. Okay. So remember, it is the westernmost part of the Meghalaya Plateau, and it is inhabited by who? The Garo tribes. Okay. And No Creek Biosphere Reserve is in Garo Hills. Clear? Yes. And the highest peak is also No Creek. And remember the Turasi Peak. Okay. Next is the Khasi Hills. So Garo Khasi and Jayantia we speak together. Next important hills is the Khasi Hills. Okay. So it is actually in the middle. So we have what Garo on one side and Jayantia on the other side. In the middle, we have the Khasi Hills. Okay. And this is the most important hills of the Meghalaya. It is the highest point of Meghalayan plateau. Yes. The most important thing is the Chirapunji and Mawsynram. What is Chirapunji and Mawsynram? Yes, this is the place where there is highest rainfall in the world. Okay. So Chirapunji, you would all be knowing because for so many years, Chirapunji has remained the highest place of rainfall. But Mawsynram, if you take the Indian case, we consider Mawsynram as a place where there is highest rainfall. So in the world, we consider Chirapunji as a place where highest rainfall is happening. But in India, we consider it's Mawsynram. Okay. So these two are located where? In this Khasi Hills. Okay. So this is where there is highest rainfall. So remember, yes, in the Khasi, it is the highest point in the Meghalaya plateau, and that is where the Chirapunji and Mawsynram is located, the regions of highest rainfall. Okay. And also the capital of Meghalaya, that is Shillong, is located in this hill. Okay. And yes, another important thing is the tribes here. It is called the Khasi tribes, and they have matrilineal alliance. Like they follow matrilineal. That is, they get married to their mother's place, like the female's place. Okay. The groom has to shift to the bride's place. Okay. So that is what the Khasi Hills. Okay. So it is also famous for sacred forests. Okay, Khasi tribes. They actually protect the sacred groves there. Okay. That is also very important. Okay. Next is what? The Jayantia Hills. Okay. So if you're talking about Jayantia Hills, it is the easternmost part, and yes, the Jayantia tribes inhabit in this region. Okay. And they also practice what the Juming cultivation. This is also a region of heavy rainfall. Okay. And also the soil here is laterite. Okay. So these are the three hills of the Meghalaya plateau, that is Garo, Khasi and Jayantia. Okay. Remember, it is not part of the Himalayas, rather it is an extension of what? The Peninsula Plateau. Okay. So Garo, there is what? No Creek Biosphere Reserve. Okay. And Khasi Hills. Important thing is Chirapunji and Mawsynram is on the Khasi Hills, and also Shillong is where in the Khasi Hills, and Jayantia is the eastern part. Okay. Yeah. And why does this Meghalaya plateau get so much of rainfall? Yes, if you're talking about the rainfall, I spoke about the southwest monsoon and the Bay of Bengal, right? Bay of Bengal branch. So when southwest monsoon occurs, it hits the peninsula and divides in two. One is Arabian Sea branch and one is Bay of Bengal branch. So in the Bay of Bengal branch, there are three. It again splits into three. One is to the northeast, that is Arakan Yuma. It hits the Arakan Yuma and goes up along the northeastern hills and reaches the northeast, that is Assam Guwahati region. Another branch goes where? Through the Brahmaputra, that is the Bangladesh region. It comes and hits where? The Garo Khasi. So for Bangladesh, this acts as a barrier, Garo Khasi Jayantia. So when it goes all the way through this above the Bangladesh, so we have rivers such as Ganga, Brahmaputra, all draining out where? Into this, through this Bangladesh, right? It's very broad and big rivers. So from there, it gains all the moisture and then goes and hits where the Garo Khasi Jayantia hills. Okay, so that is why it has so much high moisture. That is, the rainfall is above 1000 mm. So it's very, very, very heavy rainfall. Okay, 1000 centimeter rainfalls happen here. Okay, so that is why they have heavy rainfalls. Okay. So yes, that is about Garo, Khasi and Jayantia hills. Okay. So with that, we'll come to an end of what? Yeah, so you can see here, this is the Garo hills, Khasi hills and Jayantia hills. So this is how the rivers drain here. So the Bay of Bengal branch comes like this and hits here. Okay. So that is about the what, mountains of north. That is the what, Himalayan and the Purvanchal ranges. Purvanchal is mainly one this part, right? Talking Purvanchal, it is Patkaiba. That is in Arunachal Pradesh. Then Dhaka Hills, Manipur Hills, and Mizo Hills. Okay. Then Garo Khasi Jayanti is an extension of the Peninsula Plateau. Clear? Okay. Yes. Okay. Next, we'll move on to what the mountains of central India. Okay. So if we're talking about the mountains of central India, yes, these three names you'll be very familiar with. Vindhya, Satpura, Satmala. Right? It's there in our national anthem itself, right? So, yes, apart from that, Aravalli is also considered as a central Indian mountain. So, we'll be seeing these four mountain ranges. So, you can see here. Here is the Aravallis, right? Then here Vindhya, Satpura, and below like Tapi, there is Satmala ranges as well. So, we'll see that. Okay. So, these four other ranges we'll be considering while we study the mountains of central India. Okay. Clear? Yes, so we'll be talking about Aravalli ranges, Vindhyan ranges, Satpura ranges, and the Satmala ranges. Okay. First, we'll start with the Aravalli ranges. Okay. So if you're talking about Aravalli ranges, where is it? Yes, we saw it, right? It's here. The figure. Here. Okay, it is in western part, and the direction is from like what, Gujarat to Delhi. It is from what, south west to north east of. Okay, that is the alignment. Okay, so they are aligned in northeast to southwest direction. So northeast is near Delhi to southwest or Rajasthan Gujarat region. Okay, they run about 800 kilometers from Delhi to Palampur in Gujarat. Okay, so it starts from near Delhi and to Palampur. Okay, it is actually very old fold mountains. Okay, so this actually formed so many million years ago as a fold mountain. But during that time, it was very tall and it was thought to be taller than the Western Ghats and Himalayas. Okay, but now what happened? All the rivers drained out this river and now it is considered as a relic mountain. That means its height is very less. Okay, compared to the rest of the mountain ranges. Okay, so these are the one of the oldest, very fold, old fold mountains in the world and the oldest in India. Okay, and after its formation, Archean era. So the era it was formed as the Archean era. Its summits were nourishing glaciers, and several summits were probably higher than present day Himalayas. So it was very tall. Okay, now it is considered as relic mountains. Okay, world's oldest mountain ranges. Okay, what is relic? Yes, it will be like what? Very tall mountains are there due to what? Erosion. River would erode, and this summit goes down like this. And then only very small mountains will be there. The height actually decreases. That is relic mountain. So Aravallis is now considered as a relic mountain. Okay? Yes. Another thing you must remember is, we're talking about the monsoon. That is what I told you. One is Arabian Sea branch. So the Western Ghats actually blocks the monsoonal winds. That is why the Kerala coast and the Karnataka coast have heavy rainfall. But what happens when this comes and hits the Aravallis? One thing is, Aravallis is in this direction, right? So this actually goes parallel to this Aravalli ranges. And this Aravallis cannot block this rainfall because one thing is it doesn't have a height, and this is also parallel to the what direction of the monsoonal winds. Okay, so that is why Rajasthan, one of the reasons why Rajasthan is a desert. Okay, so they cannot actually block this monsoonal winds and help the rainfall to happen. Okay, and that is why Delhi receives rainfall. Okay, because all this wind go up to Delhi and falls there. Okay, so that is Aravalli ranges. And yes, one interesting fact is, it actually does not stop at Delhi. It is actually buried in the Gangetic Plain and runs up to Haridwar. Okay, that is how it is believed. Okay. So, yes. Then what we must know is, in Rajasthan, it is actually somewhat continuous ranges. That is auspicious in Rajasthan and continuous range south of Ajmer. Okay. But in Haryana, Delhi, it's not that high and it becomes less this thing. But only in Rajasthan part, it is very high. This Aravallis. Okay. Apart from that, yes, some people consider this Aravallis are extending through the Gulf of Khambat up to where? The Lakshadweep. And some people believe that this archipelago of Lakshadweep is a continuation of Aravallis. Okay. And some others believe that it also extends toward Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka region, but there is no proof of that. But mainly, is what some people consider it as extension to what Lakshadweep. Okay. And at the southwest extremity, the range rises over 1,000 meters. And the highest point is called Mount Abu. Okay. The highest point here is called Mount Abu and is separated by what? The valley of Banas. Okay. So, there is a Mount Abu on Aravallis, and the highest point on Mount Abu is Guru Shikhar. Okay. It has an important Jain temple. Okay. Dilwara Jain temples is on this. It is one of the most famous Jain temples and important pilgrimage site. So we have what this on Guru Shikhar at Mount Abu, okay, which is on what Aravallis. So if you're hearing Guru Shikhar, Mount Abu, remember it is where on top of Aravallis. Okay. Apart from that, the rivers, okay, the major rivers, like I told you, it has actually drained out so the eroded most of the Aravallis, but still there are few rivers still originates from Aravallis, and the important ones are Banas and Sahibi. So Aravallis is like this, no? So on this side we have Banas and Sahibi, which drains out to which are tributaries of Yamuna. It goes and joins Yamuna. Okay, Banas and Sahibi. Okay. On the other side we have the Luni River. Okay. So Luni River actually starts from this Aravallis and goes where? To Gujarat. That is Ran of Kutch region of Gujarat. But it does not reach the ocean, the Arabian Sea. Rather, it actually ends before at the Ran of Kutch region. Okay. And it is an ephemeral river, Luni River. So that is an interesting fact about Luni River. Remember, it originates in Aravallis and it flows to what? Gujarat's Ran of Kutch region, but it does not reach where? The Arabian Sea. Okay, it ends there in Ran of Kutch. Okay, so that is the Aravallis ranges. Here, so you must remember the location of Aravallis. Yes, from where? From Delhi to Palanpur in Gujarat. Okay, and yes, apart from that, does not act. It is actually a relic mountain. Okay, it was what? It is an old fold mountain. It was formed very, very long years ago. Now it is actually eroded and it is just a relic mountain. Okay. And apart from that, there is only one section which is high, that is in Rajasthan. In Haryana and Delhi, it is not much significant. It doesn't have much height. Okay. And some believe that this Aravallis is an extension to where? The Lakshadweep archipelago. Okay, some geographers consider it so. Okay, apart from that, we have what the rivers such as Banas and Sahibi, which joins Yamuna, which are originating from where? The eastern part of Aravallis, and from the western part, we have the Luni River. It originates from the Aravallis and flows to where? Ran of Kutch, and it is an ephemeral river. Okay, and it does not reach the oceans, Arabian Sea. Okay. That is Aravallis. Okay. So you can see here, Aravallis. So this is the Luni River. It reaches here. Okay. This is the Luni River. Then, yes, this Banas is a tributary of Chambal, which in turn, joins the Yamuna River. So these are the tributaries. So you can see Aravalli ranges. It starts all the way from here, New Delhi. But it's not very prominent here, only here in Rajasthan region, it's very prominent. Here, that is Aravalli. Next is the Vindhyan ranges. So you can see the Vindhyan ranges are here as well. This is the Vindhyan ranges in the center, exactly at the center. So this Vindhya, Satpura, Satmala, actually the ranges which divide the north and the south. Okay, It is actually water divide. It is actually what the climate divide, whatever it actually stands in the center. Okay, between what the North and South India. Okay, so there are so many rivers which originates from India and flows toward the Ganga. And if you take the southern rivers, it starts from Satpura and Satmala and flows downwards. Okay, so these two act as a watershed. Okay, here. So if you're talking about the Vindhyan ranges, yes. Yeah, another thing I forgot to mention is you can see between Vindhya and Satpura we have the Narmada ranges, and below Satpura we have the Tapi, and below Tapi it is the Satmala range. So we have Vindhyan ranges, Narmada, Satpura, and what the Tapi. And here from Vindhyan we have the Son as well, Son river. Son is a tributary of yes Yamuna, Ganga. Okay, so let's take this. So this also starts from the Vindhyan ranges. Okay. So yes, this Vindhyan ranges overlook Narmada Valley, rises as an escarpment, flanking the northern edge of the Narmada Son Trough. So there is a Narmada Son Trough. Okay. So Narmada is actually a rift valley. So we'll see that. So this is actually on top of that. It's actually host graben topography. So when you're talking about what the faulting of plateaus or faulting of what the land, okay, the lithosphere. So what happens during faulting? Yes, there is host graben topography. So two blocks come apart and there's one what dip inside. So that is filled with what water, and that is Rift Valley. And Narmada is one of the Rift Valleys. So on one side we have one Vindhyan and one side we have Satpura, which are the two hill ranges on the banks of what the Rift Valley of Narmada. Okay, so these are non-tectonic mountains generated by what downhill faulting of Narmada Rift Valley to the south. Okay, it runs more or less parallel to Narmada Valley in an east-west direction. So that means it starts from Jobat in Gujarat and Sarsaram in Bihar. So it's so long. Okay, from Gujarat to where Bihar. That is how the Vindhya is distributed. Vindhyan ranges. Okay, so these are actually fault mountains. Most part of Vindhya range is composed of horizontally bedded sedimentary rocks of ancient age. Okay, and yes, towards the east there is Barnar and Kaimur ranges, which are continuation of what this Vindhyan range. So we have Barnar and Kaimur ranges towards the east, which are continuation of this Vindhyan ranges. And yes, it acts as a watershed between the Gangetic river system and the peninsular rivers. Okay, Vindhyan acts as this. And important rivers are Chambal, Betwa, and Ken, which are tributaries of Yamuna. Ken, Betwa, Chambal, and they actually what rise within 30 kilometers from Narmada. So below Vindhyas we have what Narmada, and above we have what the rivers of Chambal, Betwa, and Ken. Okay, so Ken Betwa is also known for what the interlinking project, river interlinking project, right? So that means that is also near the Vindhyan ranges. Clear? Okay, so that is the Vindhyan ranges. So remember, yes, the Vindhyan ranges, it is above Narmada. It is actually a fault mountain. Okay, due to faulting of what? The Rift Valley of Narmada. Okay, so how does faulting happen actually? Yes, when this Indian plate or this plate when it hit the Eurasian plate, when the Himalayas was formed. Okay, so it got buckled at this northeastern side, and then this side what rifted apart. Okay, so that is how this Rift Valley of Narmada and Tapi was created. Okay, so yes, one Vindhyan ranges is on one side of this. Okay, so remember Barmar and Kaimur is also an extension of this Vindhyan ranges, and the rivers, important rivers, are Chambal, Betwa, and Ken. Okay, Son is also there, which is what on the other side of this Vindhyan. Okay, so you can see here Vindhyan ranges. Son is from here. Okay, clear? Okay, so below Vindhya we have who? Yes, the Narmada river is flowing, and below Narmada river there is what? Satpura ranges, and below Satpura there is Tapi. So between Narmada river and Tapi river we have what? The Satpura ranges. Okay, so if we're talking about the Satpura ranges, Satpura, that means 7 mountains. Pura means mountains. Okay, Sat means 7. So it's a series of 7 mountains. Yes, this is also run parallel in the east-west direction. Okay, below the Vindhya. It's actually running parallel. These 3 mountains are running parallel. Vindhya is there, Satpura is there, then Satmala is there. Okay, and parallel to Narmada and Tapi. Yes, it stretches for a distance of 900 kilometers. And parts of Satpura have been folded and upheaval. So, one interesting fact is it is not just a fault mountain. Okay, so why this has more height than what the Vindhya ranges? So, Vindhya, Satpura, Satmala are actually old block mountains. Okay, so but Vindhyas is not is since then remained as old block mountains with no other addition. But both Satpura and Satmala, what happened is, you know about the Deccan Trap formation, right? What is Deccan Trap? Yes, when Indian plate moved over the hotspot, right? The reunion hotspot. What happened? The lava came about and spread across the Maharashtra region. So this Satpura range has also addition of this Deccan Trap. Okay, Vindhya, Satpura and Satmala range. That is why it is higher of basaltic lava of Deccan Trap. Okay, and it also folded. So that is why it has it is taller than the Vindhyas. Okay, so yes, parts of Satpura have been folded and upheaved. They are regarded as structural uplift or host. Okay. Yes, apart from that, there is Dubgar near Panchmar on Mahadev Hills, which is the highest peak on Satpura. So Panchmar is on the Satpura range, and Mahadev Hills is the highest. Okay. I mean, Mahadev Hills is there and Panchmar is the highest point. Okay. Then apart from that, Amarkantak is another important peak. So Amarkantak is very important because that is where Son is also originated. Okay. Although Son is a border between a border for Vindhya, but Son is originating where? In this Amarkantak peak. And Amarkantak is known for radial pattern of rivers, radial drainage. So when you're talking about river system, we'll learn about the radial drainage system. And Amarkantak is radial. It's very easy. Don't get bothered because of the name. So radial drainage means there will be one central peak and 3 sides river will be there. So we have Son here, Narmada here, and Hasbir to the bottom. So 3 rivers are originating from this Amarkantak. So that is radial pattern, drainage pattern. Okay, so that is the Satpura range. Clear? So remember, it is series of 7 mountains. Okay, it runs parallel to Vindhyas between Narmada and Tapi. Okay, so it is taller because it has addition of lavas of the Deccan Plateau, Deccan Trap. Okay. Remember, and Panchmarhi and Mahadev is all part of this. Amarkantak is also part of this Satpura ranges. Okay. Next is the Satmala ranges. So just below here, you can see. Yes, where is Satmala? Yep. So this is the Satmala ranges. So we have the Ajanta range, which is also part of the Satmala. Okay. So below this, here you can see this is the Tapi river. Kirna is part of Tapi river. This is Tapi river. So above that we have above Tapi we have the Satmala ranges, and below that we have the Satmala. So above Satpura, below Satmala. Okay. So Ajanta range is also part of this Satmala range. Okay. It is a mountain range which runs across Nashik district in Maharashtra. Okay. And Satmala range contains several hill forts on. So important thing is the hill forts. Okay. The Tapi Valley. It looks to the Tapi Valley on the north. And important ones are Antur, Suntoba, Abasga, Baitalwadi, and Ajanta. So Ajanta is very important. So all of you would be knowing about the Ajanta caves, right? So this is located on the Satmala hills. Okay, the Ajanta caves. Okay. Apart from that, another interesting fact is Godavari. The origin of Godavari is here in Satmala ranges, near Nashik. Okay, so that is Satmala range. So just remember, it is below the Tapi. Okay, it is below the Tapi. It is not as tall as what Satmala. I mean Satpura. Satpura is the tallest one among the three. Next is Satmala, and then comes Vindhyas. Okay, so it is less tall. I mean, shorter than the Satmala, but we have important what Ajanta caves on it. Ajanta ranges is also part of this Satmala, and also what we have Godavari originating from here. Okay, near Nashik. That is Satmala ranges. Here. So we spoke about the central highlands, Aravallis, the mountains of central highlands, that is Aravallis, Vindhyas, Satpura, and Satmala. Okay. So when we learn about the peninsular river system and the other rivers, we'll be learning more about this. Okay, so this is the basic things you must remember about the central mountain ranges. Okay, next is the hills of Chota Nagpur Plateau. So now we already spoke about the Himalayas, northeastern or Purvanchal ranges, and the Central Indian mountains. Okay, next is the Chota Nagpur Plateau. There are few hills in the Chota Nagpur Plateau. So where is the Chota Nagpur Plateau? This is one most important plateau when you study the geography of India. So where exactly is the Chota Nagpur Plateau? If you're talking about the location of Chota Nagpur Plateau, so you can see it. Okay, it is actually the northeastern extension of what peninsula. So this is the peninsula. So I'll show you a figure later. This is a peninsula. On the northeastern side of the peninsula, we have the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Okay. So yes, it's mainly in the Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and West Bengal, Purulia region of West Bengal. That is western part of West Bengal. Okay. And yes, Son River flows in the northwest of this plateau and joins Ganga. Okay. There's actually a border. And there is rivers such as Damodari, Subarnarekha, North Koil, South Koil, and Barkar, which are part of this Chota Nagpur Plateau. And Damodar actually bisects this plateau. Okay. It actually flows through the middle as a rift valley. So apart from Narmada and Son, another rift valley in India is the Damodar. Okay. Damodar is forming a rift valley in the Chota Nagpur region. Okay. And Damodar is a distributary of the Ganga. Okay. And yes, apart from that, there are Gondwana coal fields. So this Chota Nagpur region is rich in all the ore. Okay, iron ore, bauxite, the Gondwana coals. Okay, everything is found in this Chota Nagpur Plateau. It's rich in mineral resources. Okay, that is why it is very, very, very important region. Okay. So, yes, that is Chota Nagpur Plateau. So, remember the location. Okay. So, you can see here, this is the Chota Nagpur Plateau. See, it is in the northeastern part of the peninsula. Okay. So, you can see Vindhya, Satpura, Satmala here. And on this side of Vindhya, Satpura, Satmala, we have the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Clear? Okay. And you can also see the hills here. There's Rajma Hills, Parshnath Hills we spoke about in the last class when we spoke in the current affairs. Then we have the Garjat Hills. Okay. So these are some of the important hills. Then we also have Ramgarh Hills as well. So these are the important hills we'll be talking about when we speak about the hills of Chota Nagpur Plateau. But remember the location and know that it is very much mineral rich region. Okay. You can find almost all the minerals here, including the coal. Okay. Clear? So yes, now we'll see the hills here. So I spoke about the hills of the Chota Nagpur. So that is, first one is the Rajmahal Hills. So you can see the Rajmahal Hills here. You can see this is the Rajmahal Hills, okay, to the West Bengal side. So it is actually in the what? Northeastern edge of the Chota Nagpur Plateau. To the northeastern edge of Chota Nagpur Plateau, we have what? The Rajmahal Hills. Okay, and it is made of what? Mostly made of basalt and are covered by lava flows. Okay, that is the Rajmahal Hills. Then there is Garjat Hills. Okay, Garjat Hills is to the south. So it is actually hills on northern Odisha adjoining Jharkhand. Okay, Chota Nagpur is mainly Jharkhand and the surrounding regions. And to the south, that is near the Odisha border, we have what? The Garjat Hills. Okay, so Garjat Hills is very important because it is where Mayurband and Kindujar or Kyonjar is located. Okay, so Mayurband and Kyonjar is known for what? Iron ore. Okay, this is the region which has highest iron ore in the country, Garjat Hills. Okay, and yes, it is also what tribe. There is tribal population there. Gond tribes live there. Okay, and the highest peak on Garjat Hills is the Malaygiri. Okay, so we have Garjat Hills just below what? The yes, that is Jharkhand Odisha border. Okay, Rajma Hills is near where? The West Bengal side. Okay. Next is the Ramgarh Hills. Okay, it is what? Hills of the northeastern Chhattisgarh. So it's near the Jharkhand Chhattisgarh border. We have what? The Ramgarh Hills. So don't get confused with Rajmahal and Ramgarh Hills. Ramgarh Hills is at the bottom and Rajmahal is at the West Bengal side. So near Chhattisgarh, it is what we have? Ramgarh Hills. Okay, and this is a source of rivers such as what? Rihans, Shank, Mant, and Ib. So Rihan, Shank, Mant, and Ib are the tributaries of who? The Mahanadi River. Okay, the famous Mahanadi River which flows to Odisha. So this Rihan, Shank, and Mant and Ib are tributaries of this Mahanadi River, and they originate from where? The Ramgarh Hills. Okay, and an important city on Ramgarh Hills is the Ambikapur. Okay. So these are some facts you must remember when we study about the hills of what? The Chota Nagpur Plateau. Clear? So 3 hills, Rajmahal Hills, Garjat Hills, and the Ramgarh Hills. You must know this because these are rich in what? Ore, all the iron ores and the minerals. Okay. Clear? So that is it about the mountains of the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Clear? Okay. Next and the most important mountain is the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. Okay. More than Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats is more important, and that is also UPSC's favorite area. Just like the Northeastern region, Western Ghats is very, very important for UPSC, especially during films. Okay. So we'll see about the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Okay. So these are the last mountain ranges we'll be discussing. Okay, so we spoke about the Himalayas first. Then we spoke about what? The Northeastern Hills or the Purvanchal ranges. Then we spoke about what? The Central Indian mountain ranges, such as, yes, Vindhyas, Satpura, Satmala, and the Aravallis. Then we spoke about the Chota Nagpur, the hills of the Chota Nagpur region. Okay, now the most important hills we are talking about is the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. Yeah. So we'll start with the Western Ghats. So you can see here, from here, Tapi, right? Below Tapi, we had Satmala. From there, from just below Tapi, okay, all the way up to here, we have what? This whole part is the Western Ghats region. Okay, it's such a long and such what? Very, very, very long mountain ranges. And it is almost very continuous compared to Eastern Ghats. So this part from here, Mahendragiri, this, Odisha region, just below Mahanadi. So from there up to this Vaigai river, we have here. This is the Eastern Ghats, but the problem is it is not continuous as Western Ghats. So you can see in this figure, this is very much continuous, but this is actually what? Dotted. Okay. So that is the difference between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. And Western Ghats is much more taller than the Eastern Ghats. Okay. So if we're talking about Western and Eastern Ghats, yes. So we have the word Deccan Plateau. So Indian Peninsula is like that. On the center, we have the Deccan Plateau. So this Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats are on the border of this word Deccan Plateau region. Okay. So the Deccan Plateau of India is one of the main landmasses, and it is studied as one of India's physiographic divisions. Okay, and it is bordered by what? Western Ghats on the west and Eastern Ghats on the east. So that is the two borders of what? The Deccan Plateau region. Okay. And remember, Western Ghats are continuous. They are also called as what? Sahyadris. Okay. And Eastern Ghats are discontinuous mountains. It's actually dissected by who? The rivers such as Godavari, Krishna, and other rivers. Okay. Mainly Godavari and Krishna. Okay. So, yes, that is Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. So we'll see each of these in detail now. Okay. So how was the Western Ghats actually formed? Okay. You know this Madagascar? You see the shape of Madagascar is similar to what the western side, the western coastal region, right? So it is considered that the Madagascar actually broke off from this region, and Western Ghats is formed as an escarpment. It's like a cut-off region. Okay. So what happens? The western side is very steep. Okay, compared to the eastern side of Western Ghats. Okay, this is a much more steeper side compared to the other side. So it is an escarpment mountains. Okay. So yes, it is spread across 6 states. So it starts from where? Gujarat, that is below Tapi, Gujarat, then Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. So 6 states. Okay, all the way from Gujarat to Kerala. Okay, it is also a World Heritage Site, UNESCO World Heritage Site. Apart from that, it is considered as the hottest of hotspot of biological diversity. Why is it hottest of hotspot? It has so many unique varieties of species, okay, which is found only here. Like, for example, the lion-tailed macaque, Nilgiri Thar. Then there is Shola Mountains, Shola Forest. All these are found only in this region. Okay, so that is why it is called a biodiversity hotspot, and this is considered as the hottest of hotspot in the world. There are 8 hottest of hotspot. That is means it needs extreme conservation, extreme preservation. Okay, so this is one of the regions. Okay, yes, and it is also older than the Himalayas. It stretches from where? Tapi Valley up to Kanyakumari. So long. Okay, and it has we will be studying it as 3 sections: the northern Western Ghats, the middle Sahyadris or the central Western Ghats, and the southern Western Ghats. So we have divided the Western Ghats into 3, that is northern Western Ghats, the middle Sahyadris, and the southern Western Ghats. So this is how we'll be studying. Remember, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is considered as a biodiversity hotspot, and it is hottest of hotspots. Okay, then it is older than Himalayas, and they extend from where Tapi Valley to the Himalayas. Clear? Clear? That is Western Ghats. Okay. So you can see we are divided into northern Western Ghats. This is the central Western Ghats and the southern Western Ghats. So we have Nilgiris also here. Okay. So we'll be studying Nilgiris as separately. Okay. So yes, we'll start with northern Western Ghats. Okay, just 1 minute. So if we're talking about the northern Western Ghats, yes, it's below Tapi. It's up to 16 degrees latitude. Okay, a little north to Goa. Okay, so it starts from Tapi up to Goa. That is the northern Western Ghats, and this is not really very much tall as the southern part. This is highly rugged and dissected by rivers. Okay, and it is made of what? Yes, horizontal sheets of Deccan lava, basaltic lava. So, like I told you about the Deccan trap, the basaltic lava. That is why we have black cotton soil in Maharashtra region, and that also extends to where this Deccan lava also extended to where this Western Ghats region. Okay, and yes, the average height of the sections of the Ghats is 1,200 meters above mean sea level, but some peaks have more heights. Okay, so the important peaks here is one is Kalsubai Peak, then we have Salhar Peak, about 19 kilometers of north of Nashik. It's in Maharashtra. Okay. Then we have the Mahabaleshwar and Harishandragarh. These are the important peaks of northern Western Ghats. So remember, Kalsubai is there. Kalsubai is important because they're in news as well. Okay. Kalsubai is in Maharashtra. Salhar is there. It is north of Nashik. And below that, we have Mahabaleshwar and Harishandra ranges. Okay. Then important passes. There are two important passes here. This the Thalghat and Borgat. So when you study passes, we'll be learning about Thalghat and Borgat as well. Okay. They actually what. So whenever there is a mountain ranges and the pass, that is through which all the connectivity goes, like from west to east, like all the railways, all the road, all this go through this gap. Okay. So we have the Thalghat and Borgat gap, and they provide passage for roads between Konkan Plains and the Deccan Plateau. So connectivity from the Konkan to the Deccan is through these passes. There is Thalghat and Borgat pass. Okay, you can actually see it here. Just 1 second. We'll see in another figure. So this is the Thalghat pass and this is the Borgat. See? It's on the top. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next is the middle or our central Western Ghats. Okay. So first we spoke about northern Western Ghats. So you must just remember that the important passes there and also the peaks, Kalsubai Peak, Mahabaleshwar. Okay. Next is the middle Sahyadris. Okay. It actually runs from where that Goan part to Nilgiris. Up to Nilgiris, it's considered what the central Himalayas. Okay. It is also called the Sahyadris. Okay. This part is mainly called the Sahyadris. Okay. And it is mainly consists of granite and igneous rocks, and it is thick forested region. Okay, the average height is 1,500, but it can also rise up to 1,500 meters. And important peaks are Vavul Mala, Kudremukh, and Pushpagiri. Okay, this is very important. It's mainly in Karnataka, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and below Goa, Karnataka, and top North Kerala. Okay, that region. Okay. So important peaks are Kudremukh, Pushpagiri, and Vavul Mala. Okay. Next comes what? Another interesting fact in the central part is the Baba Budan Hills. This is very important. Baba Budan Hills. Okay. The highest point in Karnataka is the Mulangiri in Baba Budan Hills. Baba Budan Hills is very important. Why? Yes, it is one of the important hills in Karnataka. Apart from that, that region is known for what? Coffee plantations. Okay. So yes, the Western Ghats is mainly known for, like, if you come to Kerala, that is Karnataka, Kerala side, there is both coffee plantation and tea plantation. But the Karnataka side, that is the eastern part of Western Ghats is mainly known for what? The coffee plantations. And Baba Budan Hills is very, very famous for that. Okay. And apart from that, there is also waterfalls such as Jerasopa and Jog Falls on the Sharavati River. The Sharavati River originates from where this area, and we have the Jog Falls here. Okay, and Malanath and the Maidan. Malanath is actually the Karnataka plateau. Okay, so that is actually next to this Western Ghats. Okay, this is Western Ghats, and the Karnataka plateau is what? The Malanath Highlands and Maidan. Okay, then there is one important Brahmagiri hill which is in Karnataka region. Okay. And from there, what is originating? The Kaveri is originating. Okay. So all the important rivers of the South Peninsula area, like for example, Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri, everything is originating from where? This Western Ghats. Okay. So from Karnataka's Brahmagiri hills, Kaveri is originating. Okay. And the place where it is originating is called the Thalakaveri, and it also has a lake, the Thalakaveri Lake. Okay. So from Brahmagiri of central part of Western Ghats, River Kaveri is originating. Okay. Clear? Okay. So you can see that this is Kaveri, and somewhere around here we have what? Yes, Talakaveri. Okay. And this Karnataka plateau is called what? The Malnad as well. Okay. So that is Western Ghats. Okay, central part of Western Ghats. Clear? Okay, so remember, don't forget the name Talakaveri, Kaveri, and the hills. Okay, Brahmagiri Hills. Okay, and also for coffee plantation, which is famous, the Baba Budengiri or Baba Budeng Hills. Okay. Next is the Nilgiri Hills. So if you can see here, after this part, here we have what? Nilgiri Hills. Okay. We're talking about Nilgiri Hills. Yes, it starts where at the tri-junction of Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Okay. And this is the tallest region, tallest part of what? The Western Ghats. It rises above 2,000. Suddenly, like it is this height and suddenly it rises to 2,000 meters. Okay. Okay. So this part, starts where from the tri-junction of what? Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Okay. Another interesting fact is at this Nilgiris, Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats meet. Okay. There is Sheshachalam forest as well, but Nilgiri Hills is where these two, Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, are meeting. Okay. And the peak of Nilgiris is Dodabetta. The highest peak of Nilgiris is Dodabetta. Okay. Another peak is Makruti. Okay. The highest one is Dodabetta. Okay. So that is the actually southern part, Nilgiri Hills. So we have the northern, central, and then Nilgiri Hills. Remember, it starts where in the tri-junction of what? Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. And this is the most important region with all the national parks and what? Biodiversity. Very high biodiverse region, Nilgiri Hills. Okay. Then below that we have the southwestern Ghats, or the southern part of the Western Ghats. It's also called the Southern Hills. Okay, after Nilgiris. Okay, this is also one important hills, that is, we know the Anamala. Okay, so this up to Palghat Gap we have what? The Nilgiris. Okay, below the Palghat Gap we have what? The what? Southern Hills, or the southern part of the Western Ghats. It's an extension of this, and it's also called the Southern Mountain Complex. Some consider this as an extension of what? Western Ghats, but others consider it as actually another set of group of mountains. Okay. Again, there's a gap that is below Nilgiris. There's a gap called the Palghat Gap. That is very important. That is one which connects what? The Kerala to the Tamil Nadu region. Okay. The high range terminates abruptly on either side of this gap, and it is also a rift valley. Palghat Gap is also a rift valley. This gap is used by a number of roads and railways to connect both Tamil Nadu and coastal plain of Kerala. This is the only connectivity to Kerala, easiest connectivity to Kerala from what? The Deccan Plateau region or Tamil Nadu. Okay. And during the southwest monsoon, we know this Western Ghats acts as a big barrier. Okay, that is why we have heavy rainfall in Kerala and Maharashtra, Karnataka, Maharashtra region. But through this Palghat Gap, what happens? The rain reaches to Coimbatore region or Tamil Nadu, and also Mysore region. Okay, so it is through this gap the rain bearing means reach there. Okay, so that is what. So you can see here, this is the Palghat Gap. So we have all the Western Ghats up to here. It is very much continuous. There's no gap. Okay, after this Borgat Gap, there is no gap. Then there has the Palghat Gap. Okay. So after this, up to here, we have Nilgiris. The Dodapetta is here, highest peak. And below that, we have what? The Southern Hills. Okay. So yes, Southern Hills, mainly Anamalai. You can see Anamalai and Cardamom. Okay. So these are the Southern Hills. Okay. So if you're talking about Southern Hills, yes, south of the Palghat Gap, there is an intricate system of steep and rugged slopes on both sides of Eastern and Western Ghats. Okay. So yes, Anamudi is the highest peak. So on Anamalai, there is Anamudi, which is the highest peak of whole of South India. Okay, just like we say K2 is the highest peak in whole of India. If you're considering just South India, Anamudi is the highest peak. Okay. So three ranges radiate from Anamudi, which are what? The Anamalai to the north. Then there are Palani Hills, okay, to the northeast. This is in Tamil Nadu, okay. And then the Cardamom Hills are Elamalai. Okay. And In Cardamom Hills, it is Agasthyar Kudam or Agasthyar Hills, which is the highest peak. Okay, in Cardamom Hills. It is known for its famous trekking, Agasthyar Kudam. It's just open once in the whole year. That is only in January it will be open. And it is where on the Cardamom Hills. Okay. So you can see here. So there is Nilgiri Hills. Then there is Palghat Gap. Then we have who? Yes, we have the Anamudi Range. So here we have the Anamale. The Anamale ranges. Then we have what to the bottom there is Cardamom Hills. And remember this gap, Shengote Gap. Okay, from Palghat to Shengote Gap is the southern hills. Okay, then we have Palani Hills and Varushnath Hills as well, which is extending from these hills. Okay, so these are the southern hills. Okay, so Western Ghats, three divisions: the northern part of Western Ghats, the central part of Western Ghats, and the southern part. Southern part we're talking about, we have both Nilgiris and the southern hills. Okay, the highest peak on Nilgiris is the Dodabate. The whole of South India, highest peak is Anamale and Anamudi, which is where on the Anamale ranges on the southern part of southern hills of Western Ghats. Okay, then we have the Cardamom Hills at the bottom. Okay, we spoke about Cardamom Hills when we spoke about I think the places in the Indo-China region. Okay, there's one region there as well. Okay. Okay, next is the Eastern Ghats. Okay, so Western Ghats is one full continuous range, while Eastern Ghats is highly dissected, small pieces. Okay, so Eastern Ghats run almost parallel to the eastern coast of India and leaving broad plains. Okay, and one more thing is, since Western Ghats are escarpments, the coast, Western coast is much more thinner than the Eastern coast. Okay, but Eastern coast is very broad, very broad. Okay. Yes, and it is a chain of highly broken detached hills from Mahanadi. From Mahanadi up to Vaigai. Mahanadi is in Odisha up to Vaigai in Tamil Nadu. Vaigai river in Tamil Nadu. They almost disappear between Krishna and Godavari. Okay, and there is no structural and physiographic continuity for these rivers, and therefore these are hills groups are generally treated as independent units. Okay, so you can see here. Yes, this is the Eastern Ghats. So we have here Mahendragiri Hill, which is one of the peaks here. From Mahanadi it starts, it comes all the way up to here. This is the Vaigai river at the bottom. So up to here it is there. So we'll see this in detail now. Okay. So yes, we'll start with the Mahanadi and Godavari. Okay. It is only in the northern part between Mahanadi and Godavari that Eastern Ghats exhibits true mountainous character. Then it is very tall, okay, compared to the rest of the region. So we have here there is Mahanadi, okay, and here there is Godavari. So this area is where Eastern Ghats have a mountainous character. Okay, this part mainly comprises of Malya and Madhukula Konda ranges. Okay, and the peak here is the Mahendragiri. So you can see here, this is the peak, Mahendragiri. Okay, it is the tallest peak in this region, okay, of Eastern Ghats. It's Mahendragiri. It's in Odisha. Okay, and if you're coming further down from Godavari Krishna, between Godavari and Krishna, the Eastern Ghats loses their hilly character. Okay, and are occupied the river actually drains this whole area, and Gondwana formations are there. That means it is of coal deposits. Gondwana formation means it will be highly of coal deposits. So it actually drains out it dissects this whole of Eastern Ghats, and it's actually the plateau, Telangana plateau, and also the coastal alluvial soils there. Okay. Yes. Then again, if you go further south, Eastern Ghats reappears where? Below this Krishna river in Kadapa and Kurnool districts, and as there it is called the Nallamale Hills. Okay, so below Krishna we have the Nallamale Hills. Okay, so there is Krishna. So Nallamale Hills we spoke about when we spoke about in the last class. Yes, about the what Chenchu tribes there, about the tiger reserve, right? Nagarjuna Sagar Srisalam Tiger Reserve, the uranium reserves there. Okay, it's in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so below this Krishna, there is Nallamalai Hills, and below Nallamalai, there is Palkonda. This is the next hills, Palkonda ranges. So you can see here. So this Penneru River, it actually divides the Nallamalai and the Palkonda ranges. Okay, so there is what? On top there is Mahendragiri Hills and all the northernmost part of Eastern Ghats. Then it is what? Totally what? Hidden by what? Godavari and Krishna River. Below Krishna we have what? The Nallamalai hills. Okay, Nallamalai Hills. And below Nallamalai we have Penneru River, and below Penneru we have what? The Palkonda ranges. Okay, so these are the two important ranges of what? The Eastern Ghats. Okay, and again you can see here Nilgiri Hills. So when this below this we have Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats meeting at Nilgiri Hills. Okay. So yes, again south, if we are going to the south of the hills, the plateaus attain very low altitudes. Okay, after this there is very low altitude except for two places, that is Javadi Hills and Chevroy. So you can see these two, Javadi and Chevroy. Okay, these are also considered part of the southern hills. So we spoke about what? Anamalai and Cardamom Hills. Javadi and Chevroy are also considered part of this southern hill groups. Okay, an extension of what? The Eastern Ghats. Okay, and further south, they merge with what? The Western Ghats at both Nilgiri. Okay, so that is the Eastern Ghats. So if we're talking about Eastern Ghats, the important ranges you must remember is what? Yes, the Nallamalai Hills and the Palkonda ranges, and the peak is Mahendragiri. Okay, and below towards the southern part, we have what? The Javadi and Chevroy Hills. So these are the hill ranges you must remember when you speak about what? Eastern Ghats. And remember, it's highly dissected. It is not continuous. Okay. So yes, with that, we'll come to an end of what? The mountain ranges of India. So I hope the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats is clear. Okay, Western Ghats is continuous. It starts from Tapi up to Kanyakumari. Eastern Ghats is not continuous. It starts from below Mahanadi up to, yes, the Vaigai River in Tamil Nadu. Okay, it's so long, but still it is highly dissected. Okay, so in Western Ghats, if we're talking, there is only few gaps. One is Borgat, Palghat and Borgat, and then we have what? The Palghat gap. And at the bottom, we have what? The Chengote gap. Okay. Then you spoke about Nilgiris as well. The highest point is Dodabetta. If you're talking about central Western Ghats, we spoke about the Baba Buddin Hills, the Tala Kaveri, the origin of Kaveri in Brahmagiri Hills. Okay. And the southern hills, that is Anamalai. We have Anamudi, the highest peak of South India. Okay. And also the Cardamom Hills. Then we have the extension of Palani Hills as well. Okay. Then we have what? If you're talking about Eastern Ghats, we have what? Mahendragiri, the highest peak. Then, yes, we have the Godavari and Krishna rivers, which actually what hides the there is no presence of what? Eastern Ghats there. Then below Krishna again comes out as what? Yes, the Nallamalai Hills. And below Nallamalai Hills, there is Penneru River. And below that, we have the Palkonda ranges. These are the important ranges of what? The Eastern Ghats. And below that, we have what? The Javadi and Chevroy Hills, which is also an extension. But other than that, there is no high points for this Eastern Ghats. And then it joins where the Western Ghats of Nilgiri. Okay. And the region where it joins, the Eastern and Western Ghats joins, there is Sheshachalam forest. It's very forest. Okay. Very important forest. Okay, it was asked for prelims. That's why I'm mentioning it again and again. Sheshachalam forest. Okay. So yes, with that we looked into all the important mountain ranges. Next, we are going to look into is the glaciers and passes. Okay, this is also very, very, very important. Okay, so we'll start with the glaciers in Himalayas. If we're talking about the glaciers, we know it is what? Yes, regions of high snow and what? Frozen land. So the glaciers is mainly would be found in what very high elevation. So it is found only in the Himalayas in India. Okay, but it is one of the most important largest glaciers in the world after what the polar ice caps. Okay, so if you're talking about glaciers in Himalayas, yes, there are so many, more than 4,000, 15,000 glaciers found in the Himalayas. So it's impossible to study all. So we'll study only the important ones. And yes, there is also difference. Like, what is snow line? Yes, so if we go on top of the mountain, so if the mountain is like this, we are going on top. The line where the snow starts, that is snow line. Okay, and where the tree ends. So, like there is a point where all the tree ends. That is what the tree line, and after that starts towards the snow line. Okay, so snow line varies in different parts of Himalayas depending upon the latitude and amount of precipitation local there. So that means what? We're taking the snow line in the western and eastern Himalayas. It is at two different latitudes. Okay, I think in eastern part it is much more higher, and western, but it is more like uh, lower compared to this. Okay, so yes, and there are more glaciers in the western part than in eastern part. Okay, compared to the eastern part, there are more glaciers in the western Himalayas than the eastern Himalayas. Okay, so first we'll see the glaciers of what the Karakoram ranges. Okay, so where is Karakoram ranges? It is in the Trans Himalayas. Karakoram ranges is in the top in the Trans Himalayas. Okay, so first we'll see the important glaciers in the Karakoram ranges. So maximum development of glaciers occurred in the Karakoram ranges. There is also something called Karakoram anomaly, which was in news. You can just look at it because why I'm mentioning it is because Karakoram anomaly is something like, see, what is happening due to what global warming? Most of the glaciers are melting. Okay, but at this Karakoram, there is a reverse condition. That means there is an expansion of glaciers and ice. Okay, it's becoming more, and there are more and more glaciers developing at this Karakoram limits. Okay, so that is Karakoram anomaly. Okay, so unlike the rest of the regions where there is what higher melt of glaciers and snow, this region it is not melting much. Okay, and in turn it is what this generating more and more glaciers. So that is Karakoram anomaly. Okay, that was also in news. Okay, so yes, and an interesting fact is some of the largest glaciers outside the world, polar and subpolar region, are found in this Karakoram ranges. That is Western Himalayan region. Okay, and mainly in the southern side of this gigantic glaciers. Okay, so most important is the Siachen Glacier in Nubra Valley. Okay, where is Siachen? Yes, it is the northernmost point of India. Okay, near what? In the now it's in the Ladakh Union Territory, Siachen Glacier. Okay, so this is one of the largest glaciers outside the polar and subpolar region. It's around 75 kilometers, and it is in Nubra Valley. So remember the river Nubra. Okay. Apart from that, there is a Fedchenko Glacier in Pamir. Pamir is in what? Above this Trans Himalayas. There's a Pamir Knot. Okay, it's actually above Jammu and Kashmir, outside India. Okay, so that is the second largest. There is Fedchenko Glacier. Okay, then comes the Hispar Glacier. Hispar Glacier is also important. Okay, so that is where Hunza River occupies its place. Okay, so in India, it is mainly Siachen and Hispar. Okay, then other two glaciers in this region. So you can see here, this is the Siachen Glacier. Here we have the Hispar. And another two important glaciers in this region is the Baltora and Biafo. Okay, so these four glaciers you must remember. Okay, where is it? Karakoram. Okay, it's on the Karakoram ranges. So we have what? Siachen Glacier. It is the most important and largest glacier. Then we have the Hispar Glacier, then Baltora and Biafo. Okay, these four are very, very, very important glaciers. Okay, then if you're coming down, we have what? Gangotri, Milam, and Pindari. So we'll be seeing these three next. Okay. So if you're talking about the glaciers of Pir Panjal ranges, we have what? So first we spoke about the Karakoram. There are not much glaciers as in what Karakoram range, and they are much more smaller. Okay, talking about the what glaciers of Pir Panjal ranges, and the longest is the Sonapani Glacier in Chandra Valley in Lahaul Spiti region. Okay, so Lahaul Spiti is a cold desert region. Ladakh and Lahaul Spiti are the two cold deserts of India. So it's so in this Lahaul Spiti region we have the Sonapani Glacier. Okay, so it's around 15 kilometers long. It's much more smaller, very much smaller than what those in Karakoram. Okay, and next and most important one is after Karakoram, it is the glaciers of Kumaun Garhwal region. So where is this Kumaun Garhwal region? Yes, it's in Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand region. Okay, it is the largest source of what? Yes, this is Gangotri Glacier. This is the most important. So, the Kumaun Garhwal region of Himalayas, it is the largest, is the Gangotri Glacier, which is 30 kilometers long. Why is it important? It is the source of the Ganga. Okay, Gangotri Glacier is the most important because it is the source of the Gangetic River. Okay, so that is where in the Kumaun Garhwal, it's in Uttarakhand. Okay, and Gangotri Glacier originates in the northern slope of what? Chowkhamba range of the Garhwal Himalayas. There's a Chowkhamba range in Garhwal Himalayas. That is where what? This Gangotri glaciers originate. Okay. So, apart from this Gangotri Glacier, so remember Gangotri Glacier is in Kumaun Garhwal region. Okay. That means almost in the Uttarakhand region of Himalayas. Okay. Then apart from that, there is what? Pindari and Milam glaciers. So we'll see Pindari glaciers. So this is located where? In the south of Nanda Devi, in northeastern part of Uttarakhand. Okay, towards the border, Indo-Nepal border. There is Pindari glacier near Nanda Devi. Okay. And it is also source of Pindari river. Pindari river joins what? The Gangetic river. And located in what? Upper reaches of the Kumaun Himalayas. Okay. So that Uttarakhand, same place, Uttarakhand, it is Pindari glacier is also there. Then we have the Milam glacier as well. And it is located in Chittorgarh district in Uttarakhand. And it is in northeast part of Nanda Devi. So it's much more higher. So what? This Pindari glacier is below this Nanda Devi, and Milam glacier is on the northeast part of this Nanda Devi. Okay. And this is the source of what? The Gori Ganga river. So Milam glaciers, from Milam glacier comes the Gori Ganga river. Okay. So you can see here. So this is Gangotri, which is on top. Then we have Milam and Pindari. This is important because UPSC has asked about these Pindari glacier. Okay. So remember, we have Gangotri glacier, from where what the Gangetic river is what originating. Yes, and it is on the northern slope of what? The Chowkhamba ranges in Garhwal Himalayas. Okay. So Gangotri glacier is in Garhwal Himalayas, and what? Pindari and Milam is in where? The Kumaun Himalayas. Okay. And all these are in Uttarakhand. And from Pindari glacier, the Pindari river is originating. Milam glacier, the Gori Ganga river is originating. Okay. So we have Gangotri, Milam and Pindari. On top, we have what? Yes, Siachen, Hispar, Baltoro and Biafo. Okay. And then we have Gangotri, Milam and Pindari. Okay. Next is to the what? Glaciers of central Nepal. So you can see here. So there is Rongbuk and Zemu, but we'll be learning about Zemu because that is more important for us. Okay. Rongbuk is in Nepal region, Tibetan region. Okay. So Zemu and Kanchenjunga. Kanchenjunga we already have spoken about the UNESCO mixed heritage site. Okay. So Zemu is another important glacier. So if we're talking about Zemu glacier, where is it? Yes, it flows in the easterly direction in the head of the Zemu river. So there's a Zemu river in Sikkim. Okay. So Zemu glaciers are found there. It is the largest glacier of eastern Himalayas. So when you saw the western Himalayas, there are so many glaciers, but eastern there are much less. Okay. and it is found at the base of what? The Kanchenjunga. Okay. And it is believed that this could be one of the possible sources of the origin of what? The Teesta River. Okay. Teesta River's origin is considered Jammu Glacier. Okay. So that is the glaciers, important glaciers. So on top we have what? Siachen, Pispar, Biafo, and Baltoro. On Uttarakhand region or Garhwal commune region, we have what? Yes, Gangotri Glacier, Pindari Glacier, Milam Glacier, and in Nepal or Sikkim region, we have what? The Semu Glacier. So, at least these names you must remember. Okay, there are lots and lots more of what glaciers, but these you must remember. Okay, so I've just made into a concise form on very few numbers. So, the basic objective of using this is that you can eliminate the options. Okay, and you can reset the answer. If you learn at least these, you will be surely able to eliminate the option and arrive at the answer. Okay, so yes, that is what the glaciers of central glaciers in India. Okay. Next important topic and the last topic we'll be discussing today is the major passes. Okay, so whenever we are speaking about the mountain ranges, we must know about what? The passes as well. So what exactly is the passes? Like between, if there is some continuous mountain ranges, there is some gap between the mountain ranges, right? Due to some reason. So that is actually the passes. And the passes are significant because it is through that we can connect both the sides of the mountains. Okay. Like for example, we saw the Palghar Gap. Okay, it connects both the Kerala side and the Tamil Nadu side. So in the whole of Western Ghats, there's only one pass which connects what? Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Okay, then below there is Shengotai Gap. And then we have only the Talgat and Borgat Gap in the northern part of Western Ghats. Okay. The rest of the region is very much continuous. Okay. So, yes, we'll start with I've divided the major passes in India into three. That is, we have northern Himalayan passes, then we have the northeastern Himalayan passes, and also the important passes in the peninsula. Okay, we have actually seen the important passes in the peninsula already. We'll just have a quick revision with regard to that. Now, other than that, we'll see the northern Himalayan passes and northeastern Himalayan passes. Okay, so we'll start with the northern Himalayan passes. If we're talking about the northern Himalayan passes, yes, I've just listed a few. So we have the Akhil Pass, Karakoram Pass, Burjil Pass, Zojila, Pirpanjal, and Banihal. Okay, so we'll see the location of these. So we'll start with the Akhil Pass. Akhil Pass actually connects what? Ladakh and Xinjiang province. It's in the top near China. So we'll see the location after this. Okay, so you can see this is the Akhil Pass. So it's in the Indo-China border. It's actually connecting what? Ladakh to Xinjiang province and situated in north of what? Mount Kechu. It is the highest peak, Mount Kechu, right? So it is in the north. Then we have the Karakoram Pass. It is the highest pass of India, and it is what? Situated in the Union Territory of Ladakh. It's within India itself. Then we have the Burjil Pass. Burjil and Zojila is also very important. So Burjil Pass actually connects what? Srinagar and Gilgit region. That is, Jammu and Kashmir is connected to the Gilgit region. Okay. And it is what? Situated in the Great Himalayas, in the Ladakh territory. Okay. So Burjil is on the Great Himalayas and it connects what? The Srinagar and Gilgit. Zojila is also another important pass and it is on the Zaskar range. Okay, it is above that. Okay. Zaskar range and it connects what? Srinagar and Leh. So we spoke about the Zojila pass in the last session. Okay. So you remember there was a Zojila tunnel which is being constructed. Okay. So Zojila pass is there. Okay. It connects what? Srinagar to Leh Ladakh region. That is, connects Jammu and Kashmir to Ladakh Union Territory. Okay. Next is the Pirpanjal. It connects what? Kulu and Lahaul Spiti region. Kulu Valley and Lahaul Spiti. It is where in Himachal Pradesh and it is situated in the Pirpanjal ranges of Himalayas. Okay. And then there is Banihal Pass. So we have the Jawahar Tunnel going through the Banihal Pass and it is situated in the Ladakh region. Okay. So you can see these locations here. So here we have the Akhil Pass. Then Karakoram Pass is there. Burjil Pass, right? Burjil connects who? Yes, Burjil connects Srinagar to Gilgit region. Then we have the Zojila Pass. Then Pir Panjal is there. Okay, then we have the Banihal Pass. These are the important passes we have learned now. Now we'll go to the south. Okay, we have Baralachala. So we have Baralachala, Shipkila, Nithi, Mana, and Lipulek. So these passes also we'll be learning today. Okay. So there are other important passes such as Kardungla and Shangla, etc. But at least these you must learn. Okay. It is good that you learn the rest as if you're learning the rest, but I am just concising it for you, making it easier for you to study and just reducing the number. So at least these you must remember. Okay. So if you're talking about Baralachala Pass, next is next we'll see the Shipkila Pass. So it is a road connects what Shimla to Tibet. Okay, it is Indo-China border. Okay, and it is in the Zaskar range of Himalayas, Himachal Pradesh. Okay, next is the Baralachala. Baralachala is within India. So it connects what Mandi and Leh. That means it is a connection from Himachal Pradesh to Ladakh region. Okay, and this is also in the Zaskar ranges in Himachal Pradesh region. And next is Mana. Mana connects what Uttarakhand to Tibet. Okay. Okay. So yes, we have what Shipkila, Baralachala. These both are where in Himachal Pradesh. Then we come to Mana, Nithi, and Lipulek. These three are in Uttarakhand. So these two are Himachal Pradesh, and these three are in Uttarakhand. Okay. So if we're talking about Mana, it connects Uttarakhand to Tibet. It is also in the border. Okay, it is in Kumaon ranges. Okay, Kumaon Himalayas. Okay. Next we have Nithi Pass, which is connecting what again Tibet. It is a connection to Tibet, and this is through which the Manasarovar Pilgrims Pass. Okay, this is a region road connecting to Manasarovar and Kailash Valley. Okay, and this is also in Kumaon ranges along the Indo-China border. Next is Lipulek. Lipulek is very important. It was also asked. Okay, it is an important border post in Indo-China. Okay. Then we have what? Again, this is also through which the Manasarovar pilgrims go. And it is at the tri-junction of India, China, and Nepal. That is important. Okay. The other two passes were just connecting India and China. But Lipulek is at the tri-junction of India, China, and Nepal. Okay. And this is also in the Uttarakhand region in India. Okay. Then we have the Mahakali River, which is also flowing through this. Sharda River. It's also called the Sharda River, which is flowing through the Lipulek Pass. Okay. So these are the important passes of northern Himalayas. Okay, so you can see here, there is what Baralachala here, which connects what? The Mandi region to the Leh Ladakh region. Then Shipkila, Mana, Nithi, and Lipulek all connects what? To the Tibetan region. Okay. Shipkila is in Himachal Pradesh. Mana, Nithi, and Lipulek is where in Uttarakhand. Okay. Yeah. Just remember, I know it's very hard to remember in one C, but just keep on seeing this location, remember its location. I mean, like which state it is and where it connects. Okay. And you must also know if it is connecting to Tibetan region or if it is within. For example, Baralachala is within India itself, right? So where it is connecting. So that is the things you must remember. And if there's any river flowing through it, you must remember that as well. Okay, for example, Lipulek, there is Sharda River flowing. Okay. Okay. Next is the passes in the northeast. Okay. This is important for this year's prelims because, yes, Arunachal Pradesh, the issue of Arunachal Pradesh, China has been continuously claiming that Arunachal Pradesh is part of China. So that is why the passes in northeast are very much important. Okay. So if you're talking about northeast, yes, the second part, we have what? The Natula and Jelapla. So we saw this when we saw what in the current affairs session in the last session. So we have the Natula and yes, the Jelapla. So Natula is a road connecting toward Tibet via Chumbi Valley in Darjeeling. Okay. There's Chumbi Valley and near that we have what? The Natula. It is in Sikkim. Okay. And Jelapla is below Natula. It is a road connecting what? The Tibetan Pass. It is connected to Tibet. It is also in Sikkim. The rest, the next three is in what? The north, in Arunachal Pradesh, that is Bomdila, Yongyapla, and Difu. These are the three passes, important passes in where Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. So Bomdila is what? A road leading to Tawang Valley. Tawang is one important place in Arunachal Pradesh, mainly because China has continuously claimed Tawang as their part. Okay. Although it is part of India. So this Bomdila actually connects to the Tawang Valley. Okay. Then there is Yongyapa La. La means what pass? Okay. Yongyapa La means where is it? It is in Arunachal Pradesh, and through this, what the Brahmaputra River enters India. Okay, enters India through this pass, and there's also a road connecting to China. So Yongyapa La is through which what Brahmaputra River enters. Then we have Difu. So there is Brahmaputra pass here. Arunachal Pradesh is like this, right? Then we have this Yongyapa La, and below that we have what the Difu pass. Difu is important because it is a tri-junction between India, China, and Myanmar. So that means, yes, Myanmar, there is Arunachal Pradesh here, China is here, Myanmar is here, India is here. So at that point, we have what the Difu pass. Okay. So yes, these are the important parts of what the, yes, the northeast. So we have the Natula pass here, Jalapla, it's in Sikkim. Then we have the Bumdila here, okay, and Difu pass here. Okay, this is the tri-junction. Then another Bumla and Tunga is important, but I'm not mention it in detail. Just remember it connects Arunachal Pradesh to the Tibetan region. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So these were the important parts of Northeast. So after all this, we'll just have a quick revision as well. So it will be easier for you to remember. Okay. So we'll start. Then the last topic is the important peninsular passes. This we have already learned. Three passes, we'll say Thalgat, Borgat, and Palgat. Okay. Where is Thalgat and Borgat? It's in Maharashtra. Okay. Why is it important? Yes. Thalgat is a like pass which connects what? Mumbai to the rest of the Deccan Plateau. That is Nashik, Nagpur, Kolkata, etc. All the train routes and rail routes are through this Thalgat pass. So Mumbai is connected to the rest of the country through the Thalgat pass. And Borgat is Pune. Pune is connected to the rest of the country. That is to the eastern part of the country, Deccan Plateau region, Balgaon, Chennai, etc. through Borgat. Okay. Mumbai is connected to the rest through Talgat, and what Pune is connected to the rest of the country through Borgat. Okay. So these are two important passes in the northern part of Western Ghats. And in the southern part, we have what? The Palghat. Okay. So all these districts of Kerala are connected to the Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore, Ero region through this this Palghat. And remember, it is between the Nilgiris and the Annamalai hills, the Palghat gap. Okay. So these three are the important passes of the peninsula India. Okay, and at the bottommost we have the Shengote gap. It's not that important, but remember at the bottom we have with the Shengote gap. So here we have Borgat, Jalgat and Borgat. Then we have the Palghat gap. Okay. And at the bottom, we have the Shengote gap. That is the end point. Okay. So these are the important passes. Okay. So you must remember at least these. Okay. So I think we'll have a quick revision regarding the passes. We're talking about the major passes. Yes. First, we have what? If we're talking about northern Himalayan passes, we have Akhil Pass. Yes, it is the northernmost part. It's there between China and India. Ladakh and Xinjiang province. Then there is Karakoram Pass. It is the highest pass. Okay, then Burjil connects what? Srinagar to Gilgit. And Zojila connects where? It is connects what? Srinagar to Leh. Okay, remember the location. Don't forget the location. Okay. Both Burjil and Zojila are where from Srinagar, one connects to Gilgit and one connects to Leh. Another one is Pir Panjal. It is to the south, connects Kulu Valley to Lahul Spiti region, that is Kashmir to Himachal. Okay, then we have the Banihal Pass. Okay, where Jawahar Tunnel is being constructed. Okay, then yes, then we have what? See, we saw the location. So there is Akhil Pass, Burjil, Zojila, Pir Panjal, Banihal. Okay, then below, if you're coming down to Himachal Pradesh, we have what? The Shipkila and Baralachala. Okay, Baralachala connects what? Yes, the Mandi, that is Lahul Spiti region to Ladakh region. Okay, Leh Ladakh region. Then Shipkila. Shipkila connects what? The Shimla to Tibet. That is between Himachal to the China, Tibetan region. Okay, then Mana Pass is there. Mana Pass, Mana, Nithi and Lipulek is in Uttarakhand. And Mana and Nithi connects what? Uttarakhand to Tibetan region. Yes, it is in Humayun Himalayas. Shipkila and Baralachala is in on the Zanskar ranges. And Lipu Lake is at the tri-junction of who? Yes, India, China and Nepal region. Okay. So, and through that, the Sharda river flows, which is a tributary of what? The Ganges. Okay. So, there was a lot of dispute in that Lipu Lake region. Okay. So, you can see the location here. That is Shipkila. Baralachala is here. Shipkila, Mana, Nithi, and Lipu Lake. Okay. Here. Next, we have what? The northeastern Himalayan passes. Talking about northeastern Himalayas, there is what? Nathula, Jalapla, Bomdila, Yongyapla, and Difu, which are important passes. Nathula and Jalapla are in Sikkim. Okay. And it is connected to where? The, yes, Tibetan region. And also, it is at the tri-junction of what? India, China, and Bhutan. Okay. So, both these connects to what? The Tibetan region. And there is a Doklam Valley there, Chumbi Valley. Okay. Then Bomdila is there. Bomdila, Yongyapa, Allah, and Difu. All these are in Arunachal Pradesh. Bomdila connects to what? The Tawang Valley. Okay. And Yongyapla connects to what? It is through which the Brahmaputra enters India. And Difu passes there. What? It is at the tri-junction of China, India, and yes, Myanmar. Okay. So that is the Difu pass. Okay. So you can see here, there is Nathula and Jalapla. Then Bumdila. This is the Tawang Valley. So Bumdila is there. Then Difu is here. Okay. Yongyapla is somewhere around here. Okay. Apart from that, there is Bumla and Tunga, which connects Arunachal Pradesh to Tibet. Okay. Then there are important peninsular passes of South India, Peninsula India. If you're talking about the passes in Peninsula India, there is Thalgat, Borgat, and the Palgat, 3 gaps. Okay, Thalgat and Borgat is in the northern part of Western Ghats. That means Thalgat connects Mumbai to the rest of the Deccan Plateau region. Borgat connects Pune to the rest of the Deccan Plateau region. All the important roadways and railways are through these passes. If you're talking about Palgat, it is between what? Nilgiris and Annamalai. Okay, and through that, it connects what? The Kerala, districts of Kerala to Tamil Nadu. That is Coimbatore, Erode region of Tamil Nadu. Okay. So, that is the important passes in the south. Okay. So, yes, that's it for today. So, you can see this here. So, Jhargat, Borgat, and what? Palgat. Okay. So, I think we have discussed all the important mountain ranges, the glaciers, and the passes. Okay. So I wouldn't say this is a comprehensive one, but I've covered as much as possible and all the important ones which you must know. Okay. So in the coming classes, we'll discuss about the important rivers and other national parks, etc. But for now, this is what you must remember. So keep on listening. Repeating this. Draw this map and study the location of this region so that you will be able to remember it very, very well. Okay. So that is the best way of learning map. Draw a map and then mark the location and then start. Okay. So yes, we meet with the rest of the topics in the next class. Okay. Thank you.